Welcome back, everybody. Kenny Smyson here. I do put out Starfield content every week, so be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I've got a treat for you guys today. This is my first ever fiction-based ship. Every ship I've made so far has been one of my own creation, but I wanted to start getting into these, and I had to pay my respects to the greatest sci-fi franchise. Hey, my name is Jeff. Franchise of all. Star Trek, of course. Now, yes, admittedly, between Star Trek and Star Wars, I am always going to choose Star Wars. But although my favorite sci-fi franchise is The Expanse. In any event, yes, Star Trek does hold a special place in my heart because it really laid the groundwork for a lot of things to come. So I wanted to make a Star Trek Enterprise-ish, right? So I've seen a lot of builds out there, and I kind of wanted to do my own thing, a little different from it. And I'm not going to do the usual build where I just show the whole process because it took a couple hours to do this thing. It's just really tedious getting into all the detail of these, trying to get them exactly. So it wasn't as fun of a production, so to speak. So, but I will go in the shipbuilder here and show you how to put this thing together for those of you that want to replicate it. So let's go ahead and hop right into that. Oh, I did forget to mention that I don't have any mods on this one. I will do a follow-up ship build for this where I just kind of add a little bit of mods to it to give it a little more flair. But in any event, make sure you have ship design level 4, of course. So starting at the bottom, we've got my Deimos Bay. With my fuel tanks are these 500 T8 helium-3s. Okay. And then on the back, I've got the Class C reactor. Make sure it's got attachment points on the front and the sides. Make sure you can attach things you need to. Moving up, now I did remodel the Frontier, and that's because it is the Frontier is the only ship that has the Nova Galactic Frontier 2x1, which is basically a Nova Galactic sleeper berth or all-in-one berth A, but it's the only named one. So I did name this ship the Final Frontier. Let's see. So then directly behind that, we're going to have the reactor, the grav drive sitting up here so that it's staggered with the reactor back here. And then I've got this is a Class B engine right here, which, I've got the engines on this side, of course, but I had the the power to install one more engine, so I just threw that in there. Then coming along the sides, I've got these Nova Galactic ones. Of course, the two in, let's see, right here. These ones are the ones that don't have the engine brakes on it. I almost said Jake brake. Somebody's a space trucker. And then, so that rounds out that second floor. And then, of course, up front here, you get your Deimos Belly, the 4, right? So that's going to get your second floor right there. And then your weapon attachment here, and then you've got a spot up here, and actually back there for more weapons if you want to. And then moving on to the rear here, I've got just a mid bracer, stroud mid bracer, and then I've got the cowling here, here, and here. Now I did originally have these actually go up one more level, but it made them stick out too far. So they were up higher, but then they stuck out beyond the width of the crew section of the ship up here. So it looked a little silly. So I did drop it down one. But the cool thing about those is, these pieces can be flipped in many ways, and so you can almost kind of have like an angled look to it and have it not be too blocky, and it helps to break up the shape there. So. And of course I've got these SA4330 engines on it, and you can flip these in all kinds of ways, of course. So we'll get those on there. In the back here, I threw these windows on here just because as you can see, if you don't have something on there, it looks a little bland. Although obviously you can't really go in those structural pieces. I might switch it to there's those Hope Tech bumpers. I might change that out by the time you see the ship after I add some mod stuff to it. Alright, so that should complete everything back here if you've got all that done. Okay, so now moving on, we're going to come up. I've got a 3x1 engineering bay here. Obviously, you can do any 3x1. And then I've got some windows on it. You're going to want one more of these Deimos bellies, which of course they flow really well with the Deimos cockpit, or sorry, bay right there, right? So that's why I have those up there. Next up, we're going to go up another level, and we've got a computer core 2x1 here stacked right on the back of this, okay? And then in front of the computer core, so you got a computer core here, I did one of the Hope Tech spines. Now, I wish the Nova Galactic one actually came as a fore after one, but it's only a side-by-side. So I went with the Hope Tech one, which was my only option. And the reason to do that is because it forces me not to accidentally have, well, because originally I had it flush up. So all three of these 2x1s were flush side by side, but it just really got screwy with the doors and ladders. So I did have to, and so yeah, so this was one more space forward. And then I had this piece down on the bottom, so it actually had a nice good slope to it. But anyways, I did that to force it to enter into here because those have priority, so entering into my my mess hall. And then so on either side, staggered slightly, I've got my infirmary on one side and my workshop on the other. And I will, of course, do an internal tour so you guys can see all that. Okay, so you've got 2x1 here, your spine right there, and then a couple 2x1s on either side. Then going into a mess hall. And then on up to the cockpit, of course. You guys are familiar with this one. And then I've got three of my, or four 2x1s here. Now, playing around with these, trying to get a good layout with the doors and then the ladders, I ended up not having a ladder in between any of these habs going down one level, which was a bit frustrating. I would have liked to have had a ladder going from here to here to have kind of a loop of sorts, but it ended up being a ladder-free ship. Well, except, the ones back here, of course. But as far as this top deck, the only way to go from top down the next level is through the bridge. So in here, and I'll do an internal tour showing you exactly, but we've got stroud-eklund Callings here, Nova Galactic Callings on the sides, and then these smaller Nova Galactic Callings here to kind of give it a good rounded shape. Through my shield up top here, although you could really put that anywhere. And then the only option for the docker was going to be up top here. And so I opted it to be right there on the control station. And back here, I just decided to have a little something different, some rear-facing turrets. Just kind of nice, blasting at a ship. And sometimes they'll boost behind you, and those turrets mop them up easy. Because I've got my main 4 guns there and some missiles up there. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. Okay, here we are in the Frontier Hab, basically the all-in-one berth A. And we're going to head up this ladder. This takes us into the engineering bay. Now, unfortunately, I wanted the ladder in the back over there to go up top, but so it has this weird zigzag flow to it, but it's alright. I was able to get a couple windows up here, which didn't cause me to lose much of anything. So it's kind of nice having some windows on this level looking out. Ooh, that's pretty. And then, so back on up here, we're going to go into the computer core. I've got a window on the back here. And then looking... Okay, so originally I was hoping that I would have a door from the mess hall into each of the 3 habs, but in this case, the way the doors worked was it gave me my infirmary door back here, which is fine. Kind of nice actually having a more secluded doorway for the infirmary. And got my window, of course. Yeah, because my workshop is on the other side right there. But hey, at least I kept these lockers here, so that's, I guess, a decent trade-off. Because I wouldn't have lost much by having a door there. But for the infirmary, but it's fine. So coming back in here, here's my workshop, of course. I love the Nova Galactic one. It's got a lot of just kind of unique stuff just in it to make it look a little more unique. Hey Doc, how's it going?
Hey Captain.
And then through the mess hall. There was one point I did have a ladder. I think it was right there. Yeah, it was right there. And then at one point I put a hab down and the ladder disappeared. So tried to get it back, but as you guys know, dealing with these doors and ladders is not always fun. But this one, thankfully, the ship has a nice flow to it. And so now we're in our top deck, and we're going to be looking at, this is the control station. And the nice thing about the Nova Galactic cabs, a lot of them have a kitchen in them, or a galley. So, you know, got to have your coffee, right, while you're flying your ship around. And then there's, of course, my docker. This is the living quarters, Nova Galactic living quarters, which I like to use as my captain's quarters. It's got a better flow to me than the captain's quarters, and it has a bathroom, because I need a bathroom, right? So, at the kind of the bedroom area back here, the bed, and of course the bathroom with the shower there. And then I went with two all-in-one berth Bs. The only downside is I lost my bathroom in this front corner on this one, but at least it's in the other one. So got 3 beds back here, of course, and then you do lose a bed here on the side here, but you still have those 2 beds, and then you maintain your bathroom back there with your bench. So there you guys have it. I've been having a fun flying this thing around. It's, you know, yeah, Star Trek is just classic, right? So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and take care. I will see you in the Starfield.